Welcome! Glad you made it. Get comfy, grab a snack, and let's dive in.
At my grave, Chapter 1. Icy chills drifted through the quiet room. Broken floorboards and torn molded wallpaper told just how long the building had been abandoned. Every movement seemed to echo through the eerie place, and hands, no matter how stiff they tried to be, would shake ever so often. And no matter how many times those shadows were checked, it always felt as though something was hiding there, just waiting, hoping you'd keep your gaze away just long enough. It seemed like with every push to speak, their voices were caught in their throats, taking their right of words away and replacing it with terror. "I want to go home," words finally broke through. They were quiet and meek, afraid to strike up any type of anger, but at least with another human's voice, a bit of courage stirred up. "We're not done here, Gallon. We didn't even do anything." He tried to sound as though he scolded the friend across from him, but his voice came out just as hushed. "What's that important that we need to be here? Let's just leave, Arden." Gallon spoke again with quiet urgency. He swallowed hard before glancing around again in paranoia. They both sat on splintered floorboards facing each other, a book between them. Dirt dusted their clothes from sneaking in the place through the busted-out old window. "Why come out if we don't finish what we started? Now let's get to it. They say it only works if more than one person reads it together," Arden responded. Gallon gritted his teeth behind his lips to stop the chattering. He watched Arden slowly move his finger down the page of the book, guiding his eyes to the lines, making sure they didn't mess up. They couldn't afford to. Gallon placed his hand on Arden's, stopping him. "Are you sure you want to do this? What if it works?" he questioned. Arden removed his hand, making Gallon's expression swap from concern to frowning some. Arden chuckled quietly. "Is it supposed to? This is the real deal. I've been researching this for months." "I've been preparing for it," Arden explained thoughtfully, but both their tones were still hushed as they spoke. Arden shook out of his daze, thinking about the work that brought him there. That was a lot of the fuel to keep him from chickening out. "Now let's begin. Remember, once we start getting deep into it, try not to look around the room. If you get too scared and stutter the words, they say something else could happen. Something unexpected." Arden informed his friend, who soaked in his every word, his body tensing up as he tried to stop his mind from running all the possibilities. "Ready?" Arden asked. The seriousness in his voice only put shivers down Gallon's spine. He gingerly placed his pointer finger on the book's page. Just touching it gave him goosebumps. He let out a sigh as he nodded, keeping his gaze on the paper. He told himself that no matter what, keep his eyes there. "I beg of thee, bid my ears to hear, eyes to see. Power, grant me the power. Spare me, do not harm me. Grant what I wish. I beg to become a part. Open thy world, remove my chains, null my barriers." Arden and Gallon's voices merged together as they read, fingers moving in unison as they finished the first paragraph. Was it working? The room seemed to almost be slowly swaying, heads feeling warm despite the chill in the air. Perhaps it was their own fears. Gallon heard movement in the other room, but he kept his eyes down at the paper. Even as his fingers shook, him and Arden both took deep breaths, swallowing as they prepared to read the next part, being sure they wouldn't mess it up. The noise, that awful noise, it got louder, more defined. The floorboards creaking and squeaking with pressing weight, as something seemed to be creeping closer. The entrance to the room they sat in was right behind Arden. Gallon tried to ignore it, but he couldn't stop the anxiety consuming him. It sounded like someone was coming in there. He couldn't tell if he was paranoid or if Arden was being too stubborn to even show he heard it too. Arden shook his head at Gallon, showing he was ready to read. Gallon nodded back, but he was struggling. They were setting prey, and Arden wasn't doing anything. "Glimpses into thy sacred world. Turn aside the crimes of flesh. Make me become one with what I do not know. Expand what I am into where they all live, where they hide." As they read, Gallon heard that creaky door behind Arden open. His body tensed. Nervous beats rippled through his skin. He couldn't look. He kept his head down, his heart beating so hard it hurt as his body trembled. Once he heard and felt something enter the room, his stomach went hot as the rest of his body seemed to turn ice cold. On impulse, he nudged Arden hard with the hand he wasn't using on the book. "What?" Arden questioned, turning around. He saw a figure standing over him. He was hardly able to react, his body going cold. The figure, reaching down swiftly, grabbed his book. "You dare call upon me?" the voice shouted. The page out of the book and threw it to the side. Arden and Galen stumbled trying to get up as they jumbled over each other, falling backwards, trying to get away from whatever they summoned. "Speak," it demanded. "We're sorry," Galen quickly said, closing his eyes. They backed up into the corner of the tiny room. I Arden stuttered. Suddenly the figure began laughing. Galen was about to beg for their lives again when Arden stopped him. He squinted his eyes, the voice now being familiar to him. "Read," Arden said with contempt. His fear replaced quickly. He shined his phone on the grinning face. "Mom sent me to get you," Reed announced, tilting his head to the side, a smirk plastered on his face. "Thank goodness it was you," Galen said, still shaken up. "Next time, call me instead of coming in and messing everything up," Arden said bitterly. Reed trembled in fake fear. "Really hard for me to be intimidated when you were about to wet yourself just a couple of minutes ago," Reed mocked him. Arden grimaced at Reed, turning his back. "I'm not waiting all night. Get a grip and let's go," Reed told him, beginning to walk out. Arden and Galen followed him before Arden stopped to gather his book, his surprise wearing off as he glanced at it. "You ripped the page out?" Arden questioned, shock and anger growing in his tone and expression. "So I did. You just stop messing around with that stuff. You're not supposed to be scared of your own hobby," Reed mocked him. "What are you, brain dead? Do you have any idea how long it took me to even find that book? How much longer it was for me to actually get the chance to have it in my possession?" Arden yelled. "Am I brain dead? You're the one spending all your time looking at these dorky books you don't even like. You're scared of them," Reed taunted. "Guys, let's get out of here. I gotta get home," Galen interrupted their bickering. "I'll guide you guys out. Your knight in shining armor," Reed grinned, leaving out. He climbed out of the busted window, Galen and Arden following close behind him. Who does he think he is? Bitter thoughts ran through Arden's head. He stared at Reed as they walked across the grass, headed towards the street where Reed's car was parked. "Hop in, let's hit it," Reed said, patting his multicolored car. Galen grabbed a door handle, eager to get out of that place as soon as possible. "Not you. What do you think this is, a taxi service?" Reed questioned, arching an eyebrow. Galen removed his hand awkwardly, causing Arden to stare at him, getting irritated once again. "Why are you such an idiot all the time?" Arden asked.